The tarp is up on the boat, so with any luck we will collect enough to fill the tanks. Just getting over the reef crest to get to the outer reef. Now to find some fish. There is absolutely no fish around. Bugger me. This is a male nurse shark, almost completely harmless unless you pull it out of the water and drop it on your foot. Then it can give you a very nasty bruise, people. Looks like he's been in the wars with half his pectoral fin bitten off. Yep, he's married. Better guard that other one, mate. She'll put that in her purse too. Enough of that nonsense. Let's try and find some fish. A nice small sweet dog snapper, perfect just for me, but I'm not going to take the shot. I'll explain later. It looks like it's going to be a long day, so I better get a snack. Here are some Insta facts about squid that I should have included last week. The ink is sort of stringy, so I'm guessing it comes from an amino acid. Probably the oxidation of tyrosine, I reckon. No people, I didn't Google that. Maybe Firefoxed it. It is a learning channel, you see. It's almost entirely melanin, people, and yes, you can eat it. It is nutritious and contains antioxidants. I think I'll put some on my porridge. That's the Caribbean Sea. I don't think I've seen it that flat. Of course, I've had this before, but maybe not so as intensely flat. There's no fish, except for that one small dog snapper, which in hindsight I should have shot. It was the first hour of the dive, people. Gotta catch it in the last, in the 5th or 6th hour. I just turned on the depth sounder in super high resolution mode so I can see where the fish are. And yes, I am bloody aware of that spot in the upper left-hand corner, but I didn't notice it on the day until much, much later. And then I saw this nice dog snapper, and he kept well away from me. This whole area is full of cracks, caves and tunnels, most of which are too small for me, but this dog snapper knows them all. Bugger. Oh, bugger this, I'm going in.
Yeah, I've had this before on these really, it seems almost depressive, but it's not. It's just very, very calm. It's overcast. There's no rhyme nor reason to it. I've looked at the tides and the moon cycles. The only thing I can think of is it just seems to be ominous. Maybe this fish sense it's ominous and then they all hide. But anyway, I've had this happen before, and the fish are generally all hiding in their hidey holes. And well, unless you find them, well, you just don't get any fish that day. Anyway, now this area here again is almost my most favorite place to spear, well, this type of coral. So just imagine sand bottom with some rock, and then upon that has grown ancient coral up to say 8 feet high, between 4 and 8 feet high. It's literally crisscrossed and honeycombed, and it's completely hollow, and there's little nooks and crannies. Most of the spaces I can't get through, but there are tunnels and ledges that I can. So this is like a what, hide and seek person, a person that loves hide and seek's absolute wet dream. So I don't know if I can say wet dream. I hope I don't get demonetized for that. But anyway, I know this territory most likely will have some snapper hiding somewhere. And so I try and find some tunnel or chasm or whatever and dive down and go as long as possible and cover as much territory as possible. And then I'll pop my head out and I'll see what's up. Maybe my movements have scared a snapper up onto the surface, and if I'm lucky, I'll be between it and its next hidey hole, and then I'll get a chance to have a shot. Now, in this case, you can see definitely that the fish is nervous, because I know that there's a hidey hole here. I just know. And so I can see by her behaviour, she actually doesn't want to swim away. There are plenty of hidey holes over there. Maybe it's territorial, maybe there's some other dog snapper over there that'll kick her out, I'm not sure. But you can see how she's going on, she's looking around, and she's going, oh, I really want to go down there. And so I know that, I can see by her behaviour, and so I take advantage of it, and I'm lucky to get a shot there. This is the largest size dog snapper I get. It's about 4.5 kilos. Anything above this, just like I said, I think in episode 1 with the cubera, taste sensation goes down, flesh is coarse, it gets rubbery. Even this size, it's a bit rubbery. Now I'm going to fillet it, and some person from another boat's going to cook it up. In fact, we're actually feeding a number of people. That's why I got such a large fish, and they'll prepare it properly, so it should still be good. Now, about the carcass. Now the carcass is my favourite, well, to eat the carcass is one of my most favourite things to do, because the flesh around the bones is the best. Much like beef, you know, when you get a T-bone steak, it's really good around the bones. Well, with fish, it's really fatty and it's very, very moist around the bones, especially, you know, the dorsal fins. Around there, if you just peel it off and you suck it, and basically, look, there's a lot of bones. Look, in one mouthful, you'll probably get about 20 bones. But if you're good with your tongue, and I'm good with my tongue, people, or so I've been told, you suck out all the flesh and the fat, and it is really, really good. The flesh around the belly is also really good, also very fatty, and the wings. I know people that just like to eat the wings alone and just give away the rest of the fish. So there's plenty of good eating still on the carcass. In fact, you're going to waste about 1/3 of the flesh if you chuck away the carcass without picking it clean. So it's a big waste. And people go, oh, it's not wasted, I'm chucking it overboard, other things will eat it. Well, it's not really the point. You're shooting the fish to eat the fish, you ought to eat all the fish. Now, some of you may have focused on the word fat and gone, oh, I can't have fat, it's not good for my diet. This is a different type of fat. These are omega-3 fats found in fish, and in actual fact, it's been shown it is better for your heart. In fact, it will help reduce heart disease. So none of this fat rubbish, people. This is good fat. There you go, nothing but action quality. Even the camera moves. Well, in that case it wasn't so good, but I could still use the first part of the footage. Here's the tripod. It's got lead weights taped to it. It's all high-tech gear, people. I think this is 20 bucks on Amazon. About 1.5 kilos, and yes, it still moves, but I could still use some of that footage, so it wasn't too bad. What's funny sometimes, it's not really funny ha-ha for me, but what I've found, sometimes when the wave hits it, it'll rock up, and that's the time I'm actually going into the shot, and then it'll rock back as if nothing has even happened. And so when I look at the camera, I go, oh yeah, that's collected the shot. And no, it hasn't. So then I have to then do everything again. So that's part of the trials and tribulations of this vlog, people. Oh damn, how long has that spot been here for? Bugger, that spot doesn't seem to be coming off. Better take a look. Doesn't seem to want to budge. Better try harder. This is one tough spot. Oh bugger, I give up. Well, this is not really a blooper, it's just that I realised that all of the footage previously was going to have this orange or brown spot. I'm colourblind, I don't know if it's orange or brown. You'll probably notice the difference in the different cameras. I've got 3 cameras usually running at once. I've got a GoPro 5, a GoPro 6 and a GoPro 7. That's why you get 3 different qualities. Nothing but quality, people. Now, I think that actually happened quite early on in the dive when I actually swam into some coral. Yes, it happens, people. Sometimes coral is really camouflage and you just go, boom. No, I don't know what happened because the camera sits up higher. So, you know, sometimes I misjudge it. But don't worry, it was only a tiny little crack, a tiny little scrape. I took most of the brunt with my forehead, and because my forehead is like sloping back like the Geico insurance guy, it gets deflected, a bit like frontal armour on a tank, people. I think I must be an evolved specimen of a human being. Yeah, I don't know if my wife thinks that. I think she thinks it's the other way. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. Press like, subscribe, and the bell button, and hopefully we'll see you next week.